But do you accept the analysis that Boris Johnson is now responsible for bringing down 3 Prime Ministers, David Cameron, Theresa May and Boris Johnson?
Yeah, I think I saw that. I thought it was a very clever analysis of Boris. He's I'm a sort of frenemy of Boris. So he campaigned on Brexit in a referendum that ended my political career. But I've always liked him, respected him. We came into Parliament at the same time. And there's a kind of optimism about Boris, which is infectious. And I think it's when he kind of drifted away from that and, basically fell in with the wrong company that things started to go wrong for him.
What do you mean?
I just think he ended up, he's a kind of, he should be a big Tory mainstream guy like he was as Mayor of London. And he became too much of a sort of faction leader and in the end sort of lost the parliamentary party.
Wasn't it just lack of integrity? That he would cover things up, that he would lie about things, if you just go through the wallpaper...
No, I think you're quite right, John. That is why he fell. And what's interesting in this Tory leadership contest is that no one wanted to speak about it. We've just been watching the Conservative MPs all applauding
she gave a big ovation to Boris Johnson,
wonderful
right?
Boris Johnson. Well, it'd be like half of them put their knives into his back a few weeks ago. So there's going to be a lot of, I don't think we're done with the Boris Johnson kind of saga. And
wait.
Well, because I think
what does that mean?
Well, first of all, I think the party has not really come to terms with the fact they got rid of him, and because in the campaign, Rishi did not want to really talk about why he'd resigned on him. Liz Truss did not want to confront some of the ethical issues that John just mentioned. So that sort of unfinished business, it sits there as a kind of act of whatever the word is, family, murder, which no one wants to talk about, even though there were very good reasons why those MPs did resign on him. And that's the first thing. And then second, of course, he might, all former prime ministers cause trouble for their successors, without, exception in my experience of the things. They just can't help it. And in this case, it's not that he just can't help it. He will love it, because he's just someone who, I remember he was like, when he was Mayor of London and we were running the Conservative government, he would turn up at the party conference and cause complete chaos.
Remember that.
There was always Tuesday party conference. There was no point scheduling anything other than...
I remember the Spectator party where he arrived at the same time as David Cameron and everyone was talking about him, right?
Right. Exactly.
I've got to put it to you that this is not that different to the Republican Party in the United States and Donald Trump, where Donald Trump is this brooding presence who may come back and is still eyeing being president again, and now you've got Boris Johnson still eyeing being prime minister again.
So I don't think Boris has decided, as far as I know. I think he's very sore and upset about what's happened, and with the question of what happens next. I think he is not Donald Trump. I mean, to be fair, I think I don't have much time at all for Donald Trump, but Boris Johnson has many strong, and I don't think he's a sort of fundamentally corrupt as the kind of Trump administration felt like it was. But ultimately the thing that kind of makes you is the thing that breaks you as prime minister. So,
but don't you think he's still thinking, I can have another crack at this? I can come back.
Yeah, I'm sure he's thinking that. Well, put it this way, there'll be a lot of people whispering it in his ear.
So what would you be doing if you were Liz Truss? Would you be, holding him tight or shoving him to the other side of the world?
I think the easiest way to deal with your ex-prime ministers is to treat them with enormous respect, have them, endlessly phone them up and have them around for dinner. And whether you actually listen to what they're going to say is another thing. But that kind of just managing... One of the things, one of Liz Truss's challenges is the Conservative Party's been in office for 12 years. So you've got a whole... you've got many ex-regimes and ex-prime ministers and ex-chancellors like myself, and you've got to manage all those people. Not that I'm asking to be managed, but I'm saying in general, handling the kind of the Tory kind of family is part of the problem and part of the challenge, rather, as Prime Minister. And she doesn't, it's not like she just won a big general election and everyone's going to be quiet for years. So that's...
Would you work in the Truss family?
Well, me personally? No, I'm extremely happy doing what I'm doing now.
And should Boris Johnson, would you be offering him a job?
I think that would not be a very sensible idea.
Would you hope that he would leave?
He once said to me, I know I'm not a team player, but I think I can lead a team. Well, so he's a self-announced non-team player, so I wouldn't necessarily have him in a team. I'm fine trying. I don't know what he's a hard one to deal with because he's the most recent ex-prime minister, or will be.
The Newsagents. This is a Global Player original podcast.